2025 Class 4A Iowa High School football playoffs here on Halloween night here in Alleman. I'm Clint Albertson here with Jerry Walker. Jerry, how are you doing?
Well, how are you doing, Clint, tonight?
I'm doing good. Happy Halloween.
And I think we got a little more football-like weather tonight, Clint.
Yeah, we've had really warm nights all this year. Not tonight. It is cold. The wind's blowing out of the north, and it will be – the elements will play a role, that's for sure. Comets coming into the game 7-2 overall, 4-1 finish in Class 4A District 5. Last week, Comets took one on the chin, Coach Walker, 49-18 up at Gilbert.
They did, yeah. It was kind of turned into one of those nights for them. It just looked a step slow most of the night. Gilbert played well, though. You have to give them credit for that. They had a good game plan, and they executed it, and they played really well. They will be a force in these playoffs.
Comets come into the game led by their offensive leaders, James Armstrong, quarterback number 8. James has thrown 65% completions over the year, over 1,500 yards passing, 12 touchdowns against 8 interceptions. James was a little injured over the past week, didn't play last week.
Yeah, and I think obviously that had an effect on the game plan last week too, and some of the things that they normally like to do, they didn't feel confident enough in doing them, or just kind of put those aside. And you have to make those adjustments, and things like that happen sometimes.
Leading rusher for the Comets is Carson Reinhardt. He'll be number 13. He's got 164 carries, just shy of 900 yards on the season, and he has 11 touchdowns. Leading receivers for the Comets are number 1, Bryce Burke, who has 35 receptions for over 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. Bryce is 5th in Class 4A in yards per catch, almost 18 per catch. And Brady Cathcart, number 2, has 34 receptions for over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. Comets have been balanced offensively throughout the year, and that's been a strength of them, the Comet offense, Jerry.
Yeah, it has. They've about the same number of yards rushing and passing for the Comets this year. They're probably a little bit more 3-2 run to pass, but of course, when you're throwing the ball a little more, you're going to pick up bigger chunks of yardage. But we're pretty close to 3,000 yards total offense this year for the Comets so far.
Defensively for North Polk, leading tackler is Micah Sands, number 63. He's got 41 total, 28 solo tackles on the year. Charlie Spurgeon has 36 tackles and 25 solos. He's number 17 for North Polk. Bryce Burke is tied for 4th in 4A with 4 interceptions. He's the leader of the Comets in that category, and Brady Cathcart has 3 interceptions. Head coach of the Comets is Tim TeBrink. Comets are going to be hosting Glenwood tonight. Glenwood's got an identical record to the Comets, 7-2 overall, 4-1, and Glenwood played in Class 4A District 6 this year, and they won a shootout over Boone last week, 51-35.
Yeah, they scored a lot of points last week. They finished second to ADM in their district. They played ADM down there and came up on the short end of the score in that particular game. They come in their quarterback, Ben Carlo, has thrown for over 1,500 yards this year, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He was 17 for 26 last week against Boone for 232 yards. So I don't think that you'll see them put the pass away tonight, although they do have Class 4A's leading rusher, Scott Reed Jr., who were number 20. Carried the ball 34 times last week for 228 yards and 6 touchdowns. So he had a nice night last week. He's averaging about 21 carries a game, and he's up around 157 yards a game. So Comets are going to have to be aware of him and they've been a little vulnerable these last 2 regular season games versus Carlisle and Gilbert last week to the run. So they really need to get things shored up tonight to try and contain Scott Reed Jr.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Coach, they got some very productive offensive leaders there. You mentioned Ben Carlo, number 12. He's number 4 in 4A in passing yards, over 1,500 of them. You mentioned Scott Reed. He's number 1 in 4A in rushing yards, number 2 in 4A in all-purpose yards. Receiving for Glenwood, Caden Crouch has 35 receptions for 565 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's number 7. Number 6, Jack Johnson, has 31 receptions for 374 yards. Defensively for Glenwood, their leading tackler, number 35, Dylan Powell's 41 total tackles, 30 solos. Corbin Pelzer has 35 and a half total tackles and 22 solos. One thing jumped out to me, Coach, was sacks. They've got number 77, Drake Boothie, with 7. He's third in 4A. They got Mason Kohler, number 65, with 5. He's tied for fourth in 4A.
Yeah, Mason also has had a good year as far as tackles for losses. He leads the team in tackles for losses at 12 and a half. As a team, Glenwood has 18 and a half sacks over the course of the season. So they get in and they get after the quarterback quite well.
In the defensive backfield, number 5, Gavin Abbott, has 3 interceptions for Glenwood. He leads them in that category. Head coach at Glenwood is Corey Faust. This is a Pod 3 playoff game in Class 4A. Comets here hosting. The other Pod 3 game tonight is up in Northwest Iowa. Lamar's at Sergeant Bluff Luton. Sergeant Bluff probably the favorite in that one, Jerry.
Yeah, they met earlier in the season. Sergeant Bluff came away with a 35-7 victory, and I believe, if memory serves, I think they played that game in Lamar's, but not 100% certain on that. But yeah, I'd agree that Sergeant Bluff is the favorite tonight, and I believe they're number 3 in the RPI, the final RPI ratings, going into the playoffs tonight.
So the winner of this one, if the Comets win and Sergeant Bluffs win, Comets will be traveling up there. If Lamar's pulls an upset and the Comets win, there would be another home game next week, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think that's the way it's going to shake out. So we'll kind of see what happens. You know, a lot of times you play someone earlier in the season and then playoffs roll around and things change. So it'll be interesting to see what happens up there tonight.
Other games in 4A tonight. In Pod 1, you got Waverly Shell Rock at Cedar Rapids Xavier and North Scott at ADM. Pod 2, you got Lewis Central, who's at Gilbert. Fort Dodge is at Newton. And in Pod 4, Davenport North making the trip to Pella. And Decorah.
Let me know if it's working. Robert, can you check if it's working for you? Mike in? Alex?
Decorah at Western Dubuque is the other game in Pod number 4. And the 4A playoffs. Comets take the field here for the first round of the playoffs. The home win streak is still intact. Coach, what are we at now?
I believe we're at 23 now.
The last home game was a thriller.
You're welcome to get closer if you want.
Here as the Comets edge Carlisle on the last-second field goal.
That one came down to the wire for sure. A couple of things real quickly that we'll be looking at tonight for Glenwood. Offensively, they run a similar offense to the Comets. They're about 60-40 run to pass. They're averaging 33, just under 34 points a game. They'll throw it around 23 times a game, and as I mentioned earlier, Scott Reed's going to carry the ball probably easily 20-plus times tonight, as he carried it 34 times last week against Boone.
We'll pause here for the national anthem. Kickoff here shortly.
Please join us in showing respect as they perform the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A cappella version of the national anthem tonight here. Well done. Liam Triplett runs cross country, kicks, and there he was helping sing the national anthem. Jack of all trades. Go ahead, Coach. Sorry.
I was going to say real quickly, defensively up front for Glenwood, their base front is going to be a three-man front, a 3-3 primarily, but they will get into a four-man front on occasion depending upon down and distance. It'll be a 4-3 look. Generally, they're going to play a lot of man coverage in the secondary, and so we can look for that. Hopefully, we can win some one-on-one battles with our receivers against their defensive backs when we're throwing the ball.
Weather report tonight. Right now we got 41 degrees. Feels like 34. That wind is out of the west-northwest, 8 miles an hour right now, gusting up to 16. Looks more than that flag over there. It's ripping pretty well. So the wind will affect the kicking and passing games tonight.
Coach DeBrink's keys for the Comets tonight. We need to control the ball on offense and stay balanced. Finish drives with points on the scoreboard. We've got to try to create some more turnovers on D. Make them drive the ball a long way, take away their any big plays. The special teams need to help set up scores for the offense and win the field position battle. Try to pin their offense deep down in their own territory.
We are about 2 minutes from kickoff here. Jerry, what do you think about some of those other matchups in 4A tonight?
Well, I think, if you look at it and you just kind of go by seeding, I think they're probably going to go by seed in most of those pods.
Lewis Central is kind of a sneaky 5-4, I think.
Yeah,
aren't
they are. They've lost some close games. Both Glenwood and the Comets beat them by 3, and so there's 2 of their losses right there. And it seems to me like they lost another game by 1 score late. So the 5-4 record's a little bit deceiving out of Lewis Central.
Glenwood is going to receive to start the game. They'll be driving north into that win. Comets will kick off. Liam Triplett will kick it away.
Coming in, Glenwood played 3 teams that have qualified for the playoffs this year. They went 1-2. They beat Lewis Central, lost to Sergeant Bluff and ADM. The Comets have played 5 playoff teams and have gone 3-2 against those teams, beating Lewis Central, ADM, and Newton, and losing to Pella and Gilbert last week.
All right, there's the whistle. We are ready for football here on Halloween night, first round of the playoffs. Triplett's kick is a shorter kick. It's going to be fielded at the 15. And they're going to run a reverse on the opening kickoff, Glenwood is. Comets have it well covered, and he gets out to about the 22-yard line.
Looked like Bennett Rolling made the initial hit, made the tackle on the Comet kickoff team there.
Little trickeration from Glenwood to start the game, but to no avail. So Glenwood will have 1st and 10 at their own 22.
It's good coverage by the Comets on that. Guys went down, stayed in their lanes, made a nice tackle.
3 wide receivers for Glenwood. Ben Carlos, the quarterback. He's got Scott Reed in the backfield. Carlos going to throw it out wide. It's going to be caught up the sideline for a gain about 5 or 6 yards. That was Caden Crouch, number 7.
Looked like Quinn Tepley over there knocked him out of bounds over there on the far side.
Glenwood going quick here. They're going to run it to Reed up the middle. Pile moving forward. That Glenwood offensive line, Todd Schmidt, Mason Kohler, Jordan Taylor, Josh Taylor, Drake Boothie. They're some big fellas up there.
Yeah,
Gary.
they have really nice size. I think their smallest starting offensive lineman is 225.
Reed's going to get the carry on the little bend back action. He is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage.
Really nice pursuit to the ball by the Comet defense on that play. Picked up maybe a yard, might be a little bit short of a yard. So 2nd and a long 9.
Glenwood's going to bring 3 out to the wide side here. Ben Carlo, the quarterback. Carlo's going to throw it this way to Crouch again. He's got it. They got a little tunnel screen set up, but again, nicely defended by the Comets. Way out there to make the tackle was Blake Trulson out in pursuit.
Yeah, Blake from his nose position on there. Nice pursuit on that. Glenwood worked on that exact same play that you just saw there quite a bit in the pregame. And so I'm sure we'll see that quite a bit tonight if they have some more success with it.
3rd and 6 for Glenwood, opening drive. Carlo's going to look to the sideline. Getting the signal here. Carlo's going to step up. He's going to scramble. He's going to keep it. He's going to be tackled short of the 1st down. He's 2 yards short. Chase Miller and Charlie Spurgeon converge to make the tackle. So it looks like Glenwood's going to punt on their opening drive.
Really good pursuit by the Comets on that play to snuff that Carlos scramble. Now, he is their 2nd leading rusher, too. But he's not going to be the threat that Scott Reed Jr. is.
Jose Diaz is back to punt for Glenwood. Bryce Burke is back to receive for North Polk. 4th and 2 here from their own 41. Snaps there, and the Comets block it.
Scoop
The
it.
ball's loose. Still loose. Oh, and the whistle's blowing. They're going to say Glenwood called timeout.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Glenwood.
Oh, boy. Well, they gave him the timeout. Sliding play didn't count. Quinn Tepley got in there and blocked it.
You know, when I was at practice Wednesday night this week, and I was talking to Coach Chris Capaldo, and he said, you know, we think we can block one this week. And he was right. We blocked the first one, but
I think Glenwood thought they could block one too.
yeah,
It's called the timeout there.
Um,
So we'll see if they adjust.
the Rams dodged a big bullet there.
That snap didn't come back with a lot of mustard on it. Well, they're going to try it again. And the Comets will try to block it again.
Looks like they changed their formation a little bit here.
They're going to get tighter up to the line of scrimmage. No safety protection
Yeah.
blocker back for the punter, though.
Yeah, now the punter's only about 10 yards, maybe 11 yards back, which is a little bit closer to
Diaz
than
is
normally
the
you
punter.
see.
There it is again. This time they block it up. Bryce going to get away. It's going to bounce straight up in the air, and it's going to kind of just settle down right there. It's going to roll down to about the 15. So a lot better outcome for Glenwood than what almost happened on the previous.
Yeah, no, we didn't send anybody to try to block at that time. So, but I would guess that is something that we'll be looking for later on in the game too, if the opportunity presents itself.
Although if the the punt team knows you're going to come try to block it, you're a little vulnerable to fakes, aren't you?
Yeah.
First
You
and
can
10
be.
for the Comets at their own 16. James going to throw it out to Bryce Burke. Bryce bobbles it but catches it, cuts it upfield. Nice gain, still going. And I believe he got first down. Well, he's a little short.
Bryce made a nice play on the ball. Looked like it might have been thrown a little bit behind him.
James Armstrong is out there at starting quarterback for the Comets. It's going to be second and 2. Trips to the near side here. Burke's going to go in motion. Armstrong's going to flush out to his right. Going to throw it up the sideline to Carson Reinhardt. Big gain. Carson's up to the 45-yard line. About a 15-yard gain there, but maybe 20.
Glenwood was in a 3-man front that time, and James was looking to throw it downfield, but he checked it down to Carson, who was really almost uncovered there, and nice gain.
So 2 plays and a first down for North Polk. 2 tight ends in the game here for the Comets. James is going to keep it on the play action, throw the slant, incomplete. Led Bryce Burke a little too much. Those RPO plays have been very important to the North Polk offense, Jim.
They have been. Shane Pratt was on the coverage over there for the Rams on that one. Be interesting to see if James shakes a little bit of rust off here in the first part of the game.
Second and 10, North Polk at their own 45-yard line. No score. We're in the opening quarter, 8:33 to go. Rodemaker's in motion. They're going to give it to Carson Reinhardt, and he is hit right at the line of scrimmage and fights, still fighting forward. He gets 3 when he was hit right at the line. We've seen that all year from Carson.
Yeah, we have.
So they're going to give him 5 there. Tough run.
It was a nice gain. Looked like he made something out of nothing there. Mason Kohler, Jacob Ost, and Josh Taylor are the 3 down linemen for the Rams.
Ball right at midfield on the 50-yard line, 3rd and 5 for the Comets. Bryce Burke takes the direct snap. He's going to sweep to the right, and he's knocked out of bounds. Well defended there by Glenwood. That was Dylan Prowse on the tackle. So the Comets lost a yard. It's going to be 4th and 6. And Comets are going to punt. We got a new punter out there, Coach.
Yeah, this is Jace Jetman. He punted last week against Gilbert.
Jace Jetman, snap, hops
Snap
back
was
there.
low.
Jace gets it away. Nice kick.
Yeah, it was a nice kick.
Fair catch. Wind helped. It was to his back. It was a helping wind. Well, he did a good job to handle the snap and get it away. So.
Yeah, he really did. It ended up being about a 38-yard net on that punt. Yeah, he did a nice job fielding that.
So both teams move the ball a little bit and then stall out around midfield. So Glenwood's going to get it back for the second time. Their own 13. 1st and 10. Carlo's going to give it to Scott Reed. He's up the middle. Still going. Churning his way. Got about 6. He just runs right downhill between the tackles.
Yeah, it looked like Ben Glasgow made the tackle there. A couple other comments in on that as well.
Can you fill the viewers in on some of the weights of these offensive linemen for Glenwood, Coach?
Yeah, we'll let them run a play here, and then
Scott Reed again. This time, not much. Comets are going to stand him up and drive him back.
yeah,
When Tepley finished it off there.
yeah, first contact looked like it. That was Charlie Spurgeon, I believe.
Charlie, and I think Ben Glasgow came out of there too. So
Yeah, left to right, their offensive line. Todd Schmidt is 270. Mason Kohler is 225. He's the little guy. Jordan Taylor, 235. Josh Taylor, 240. Drake Boothie, 276. And 4 of those 5 are juniors.
Scott Reed's going to carry it. He's going to cut it. He's got a hole. He's going to break free. He cuts it back. He's crossed the 45 into North Polk territory. Big run for the 4A leading rusher, Scott Reed.
Boy, it looked like we had that stop, too.
We had a lot at the point of attack, but there wasn't anybody behind it.
Yeah.
That takes it all the way to the North Polk 43. Nice run by Reed.
Yeah, about 36-yard run by Reed on that play.
So Glenwood moves into North Polk territory for the first time tonight. The ball's loose, fumbled, and North Polk's got it. The exchange between Carlo and Reed was a little unsure. I think Reed was trying to ride that out as long as he could and then keep it himself, and it was fumbled and recovered by North Polk.
Not sure who got it. Might have been Quinn Tepley by the way the guys are acting around there. Not sure. And interesting, there's a turnover there by Glenwood. They came into tonight with a plus 14 margin in turnovers. They created, over the course of the season, 24 turnovers coming in, and they were plus 14. The Comets, on the other hand, were minus 2. So good to see the Comets get that first turnover.
All right, North Polk gets it back. They're at their own 46, 4 wide. Carson Reinhardt sweeping to the left. Cuts it upfield. Nice gain. Got about 6 or 7 there.
It's like Corbin Pelzer and Tristan Ludwig pushed Carson out of bounds over there on that far side.
Reinhardt again. About a yard shy of the first down. Got about 4.
Yeah, he fell forward again, Coach.
He always does.
Yep.
He's usually the hammer, not the nail, you know.
Drake Boothie is in for Glenwood, playing one of those down defensive linemen. He looks like the defensive end on the far side, number 77. He's also playing offensive tackle. He is 6'5" and 276.
3rd and 1 for North Polk at the Glenwood 45. Reinhardt's got the first down and a lot more, right up the middle to the 28 of Glenwood.
About a 17-yard run, really a nice run by Carson. The thing is with that 3-man front and you got one middle linebacker, if those outside linebackers are playing kind of wide, it's really ends up being a 4-man box, and you've got them outnumbered. So a nice place to attack that defense by the Comets.
That takes it down to the Glenwood 28, 1st and 10 North Polk, just under 5 minutes to go, first quarter. Little motion there. If you can move laterally, you can stop, though, right?
Yep. And he did reset.
Carson Reinhardt again. 9-yard gain. Well, Carson Reinhardt's getting it done on this drive for North
Yes, he
Polk.
is.
That offensive line of the Comets doing a nice job. Hunter Bassino, Carson Cordero, Colton Boo, Micah Sands, Chase Miller.
And I think Simon Hauser might be in there at a guard right now in place of Mike. I think number 62. Yeah, that's Simon.
Yep.
So they try to rotate some of those guys in there to keep people fresh.
2nd and a short 1. Carson Reinhardt's got the first down, cutting it back upfield. Still going. He's down inside the 10. Running it right at him. First and goal just inside the 10. Guess who? Carson Reinhardt up the middle. He's got a touchdown.
Nice job up front by the Comet line. And that was pretty much a Carson Reinhardt drive, Coach.
That certainly was. I think it was all him, was it not?
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
there was anything else.
Nope, we ran the football. That was some old school, little big boy football right there. Everything on the ground. Took advantage of the turnover, so really good to see.
Liam Triplett will kick the extra point. Chase Boo, the holder. And the kick is good. So with 3 minutes 49 seconds left to go in the first quarter, North Polk takes a 7-0 lead over Glenwood here in the first round of the Class 4A 2025 football playoff.
And Coach Glenwood did fail to jump on that PAT attempt.
did?
And so they
Good job by them.
evidently they've looked at some film.
Yeah, there's been less of that this year, but
Yeah.
it took a good 2-3 years for teams to get the message on that.
Well, really a good drive for the Comets there after that turnover. All Carson Reinhardt on the ground. I believe it was about ended up being about a 49-yard drive. I think we took over just on their side of the 50, didn't we?
I think it would have been 54. I think we were
54,
on
okay.
our own 46.
Okay.
I believe is where we got that fumble. So.
Okay.
So good score there by the Comets. They're on the board, 7-0. You got a number of the guy back deep for Glenwood? I can't quite see that. He's turned away from us. He's going to call a fair catch, though.
Yeah. Well,
Didn't he call a fair catch?
I thought he put his hand up.
Thought he did, too. He called a fair catch.
Yeah.
He definitely did. Coach DeBrink thinks he did.
Evidently, the officials.
Tell you what, that was more of a fair catch than
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean called last year against Minnesota.
Yeah.
Tell you that.
Yeah. And that ended up being 2 years ago, then, Coach, now, because he's been in the pros for a year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago.
Time flies when you're having
I
fun,
was at
right?
that game. Yeah.
Were you really?
Yeah, it was. That's true. Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Glenwood, the return out to the 47-yard line. They're going to say he didn't call, didn't call a fair catch. Okay.
We'll have to see if we can figure out who that number was who was back there.
Reed up the middle,
Receiving.
got 3.
The young man that received that was built very similarly to Reed.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Reed that was back there.
It might
for
have been
sure.
number 36, Jackson Galusha. Maybe. I feel like maybe it was him.
5'10", 190.
Second and 8 at the 49, 2-yard gain by Reed there. 3:15 to go first quarter. Carlo's going to throw the slant to Crouch, and they're going to say he caught it. 2 yards short of the sticks.
Bryce Burke was on the coverage there.
3rd and 2 at the 45. Given their adventures in punting, I wouldn't be surprised if this is probably a 4-down situation for Glenwood.
Yeah, I think so. When you play off football, too, although it's still pretty early in the game.
Reed's going to get the first down, keeps himself on his feet to dive forward to about the 37, 38.
Showed some pretty good balance there on that one. Blake Trolson and Chase Miller back into the game in the line for the Comets.
Yeah, I don't know if he is, but he's that kind of balance that he showed there. He looks like a wrestler out there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Carlo throws the slant, nearly intercepted on the crossing route, excuse me. He had to throw it quick and to Lincoln Scarnelius, and Bryce Burke almost was the receiver of that one. So 2nd and 10. Almost another turnover.
Micah Sands is the 3rd down defensive lineman for the Comets, number 63. He's the leading tackler this year for the Comets. Reinhardt and Ben Glasgow are the 2 inside linebackers.
Carlo's going to sling it out to Scarnelius. Not much there.
It's well defended by the Comets. Micah Sands looked like Talon was in on that too, checking back.
I feel like Glenwood's setting something up with with running that play so often.
Yeah.
They're going to slip deep out of it, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see that at some point.
Yeah, they like that quite a bit.
3rd and 10 at the 38 for Glenwood. Minute 35 to go first quarter. Ben Carlo, left-handed QB, fires it over the middle. It's too far for number 7, Caden Crouch. Led him too much. 4th and 10 at the 38. They're going to punt it, it looks like. Try and pin North Polk deep. Clock stopped at a minute 29. They're going to punt this somewhat into the wind. The wind's mostly a crosswind out of the west right now, it looks like. But
Yeah, Diaz is back to punt, and they move number 4. So we'll see if Quintepley comes again. They chipped him
Diaz
that time.
bobbled it a little bit. Oh, Bryce Burke let it go. And nice punt. That's inside the 5 down to the 2. So well done by the Glenwood punt team there.
Yeah, they chipped Quintepley that time, and so he didn't have a free run in toward the punter like he did on that questionable timeout that Glenwood called the first. That's I probably shouldn't say that. But
Well, they gave it to him.
they gave it to him. Yeah. They also,
You know, you see that a lot in the NFL when the play clock expires, and then all of a sudden they say, no, they actually called
Yeah,
timeout
yeah.
before. I don't know if they do. But.
yeah.
All right, Comets backed up here. Glenwood hoping to get a quick stop and take advantage of the punt. Reinhardt's going to get the carry and got maybe a yard coming out of the end zone there. Coach, when did you get to North Polk and start coaching?
1985 was my first year.
Okay, so you weren't here in like 1978
No.
for
No.
The Shrine Bowl season of Gary Reinhardt.
I was not,
Another Reinhardt.
but I did. I was at the Shrine Bowl game that year. It was at Drake Stadium in Des Moines.
Okay.
And Gary tore his ACL there.
Oh, boy. Carson gets the carry close to the sticks.
You know, this is kind of one of those things here. You know, you got 3rd and less than 1, and you're running the ball and kind of keep running it until they stop it. They might have stopped that
Reinhardt
one.
gets the first down, if the guy on the far side's correct. Looks like he is.
Yep.
I don't know exactly how many plays in a row Carson's carried it for us, but I think it's at least 8 or 9, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting close to double digits.
That's going to be the last play of the first quarter. So North Polk has a 7-0 lead on a Carson Reinhardt 9-yard touchdown run on a drive that was all Carson Reinhardt and that offensive line up front. So 7-0 so far. Comets have done a good job of keeping the explosive Glenwood offense in check.
Yeah, Reed did have that one nice run where he broke away for about 35 yards midway through the first quarter there on their second drive. But, yeah, so far, Comets have done a really nice job defending the pass. We're getting some pressure on the quarterback, and we're covering up receivers pretty well. And Carlos had a couple throws that have been in the dirt. They threw that tunnel screen earlier over on this side. In that last series, they ran that bunch formation to the far sideline. And as you mentioned, Coach, I'm sure they're probably trying to set something up with that particular formation in that pass play.
The other game in Pod 3 tonight, after one quarter, Sergeant Bluff has a 14-0 lead at home over Lamar. So they're off to a strong start. And again, if Sergeant Bluff wins, whoever wins this game is headed up there just south of Sioux City.
Headed north.
Sergeant Bluff, of course, passed away on the Lewis and Clark expedition.
That's the old history teacher coming out, correct?
Yeah.
You didn't happen to cover that this particular
No,
week,
not
did you?
this week,
Yeah,
no.
okay. Conference going to call timeout.
Timeout. North Polk.
Well, we got a timeout. First play of the quarter here. 1st and 10 at their own 14 for the Comets. We'll try and get you some other scores of playoff games going on around the state. They'll probably be coming in a little more thoroughly given it's the playoffs. Johnston leads Ankeny Centennial 6-0 in the first quarter. Iowa City West and Cedar Falls tied at 7.
First quarter?
First quarter. You mentioned earlier Cedar Falls playing outside now for those October, November playoff games.
Probably wish they were in the dome tonight.
All right, here we go. 1st and 10 for the Comets. Showing blitz, Glenwood. They're going to bring blitz. They're going to give it to Carson. And he picked a good lane to get about 5.
Newberry on the tackle for Glenwood. Those blitzes like that, they're kind of feast or fathom. You either blow the play up or sometimes they turn into a nice gain. And Carson made another nice run.
Davis Caves in motion to the near side. They're going to go to Carson Reinhardt. Why not? Carson's got more. He's got 13. Another first down.
Carson is piling up the yardage right now.
He takes it to the Glenwood 29. So the last 2 drives, sorry, R29. The last 2 drives have been all Carson Reinhardt.
We'd like it to be in the Glenwood 29.
Well, it will be soon.
Yeah.
Calvin Heitzman getting in on the action. He gets about 7.
Well, he does. He's running. We're moving some people up front there now.
And they're going to have to start committing more and more people into that box to stop the run. That will open other things up for us.
Yeah, I think we may see a 4-man front here fairly soon if this trend continues.
That time Glenwood does a pretty good job. Calvin only gets a couple. It's 3rd and 1.
But he's getting positive yardage. So
Yep. Carson coming back in after a little break. Good job by Calvin. So we got a 3rd and 1 at the 38. Glenwood needs a stop here. They're down 7-0. Comets will shift to formation. They're going to pull it on the RPO. There it was. Brady Cathcart breaks the tackle of the corner. So James threw that one right on the money. That's down to the Glenwood 42. Now they're in Glenwood's territory, Coach.
yeah, that was a nice decision. It looked like that a corner over that far side was starting to come in, was going to come hard, but James read that. Nice throw, a nice catch.
That takes it down to the Glenwood 42, 1st and 10. Slant to Bryce Burke. Bryce has got it. Right near the first down marker. I think they're going to call it 2nd and inches here.
Yeah. Jack Johnson was on the tackle there for the Rams.
Nope, I don't think it was a first down. Yep. 2nd, half a yard. Armstrong's going to throw it over the middle. It's Cathcart wide open. He's inside the 5 on the deep post route.
Boy, it was a nice throw.
Right on the money.
That's a good call there, too, on that short yardage situation. It almost looked like the ball came out down there. Fortunately, it did not.
That took it down to the 1 yard line. First and goal for the Comets. Already up 7-0, looking to go up by 2 scores. Carson's going to run it, and he's in. Carson Reinhardt with his second touchdown of the night. So with 8:50 to go in the second quarter, it's 13-0 Comets.
Glenwood in the past, in those situations, I have seen them on film when they're down inside the 5 like that, going to a 5-man front. It did not look like they did on that time, though. And Carson again found the end zone.
Liam Triplett on for the PAT. Good snap, good hold, and good kick. So it's 14-0. Comets out of the gate strong here, Jerry.
Yes, they are. Liam came in tonight 27 out of 29 on PATs. He's 29 out of 31 now. He's 5 out of 6 on field goals this year, so hopefully we won't be in a situation where we have to settle for field goals, or we'll be kicking some more PATs. But again, a nice drive by North Polk. A lot of run, and they mixed the pass in there toward the end of that. They hit a slant to each side, and then that post route that Brady Cathcart took down to just inside the 1, and then Carson put it in for the touchdown.
So again, this is a first-round game, Pod 3. Some other scores in 4A playoff games. ADM, leads North Scott 13-3. Start of the second quarter. That game's in Adel. Gilbert 14-7 into the first quarter over Lewis Central. Newton is smacking Fort Dodge 20-0 late in the first quarter. There's the kickoff. Well covered by the Comets.
And that was number 10 that was deep for Glenwood.
Cedar Rapids Xavier 17, Waverly Shell Rock 0 at the end of the first in Cedar Rapids.
That was Chase Razor on the return for the Glenwood Rams.
All right, so Glenwood down 14-0 is going to need to get something going here. They're going to give it to Reed. Bounces off the pile, goes forward for a pretty good gain. Glenwood had it going last drive and fumbled.
They did, yeah. Looked like Micah Sands on the tackle. You had a couple other Comets that helped out on that. The secondary tonight, right now, we've got Chandler Johnson, Carter Harris at the corners. Blaine Spees and Quinn Tepley are the safeties.
Ben Carlo is going to sling it deep left side. Ball hangs up there. Incomplete. Intended for Caden Crouch.
I've noticed that number 7, Caden Crouch, in some of the film that I watched earlier this week, there were a few occasions when he was asking for calls from the officials. So, and again, he thought he was interfered with over there on that one, but referee didn't see it that way.
Big third down for Glenwood's offense. They're down 14-0 here, first quarter.
Boy,
four wide.
They really need to sustain something here. Well, there's looks like a nice.
They're going to run it. They got a big chunky yardage here. I think that was Jack Johnson.
Yeah. Got a nice hole over here on this side that time.
They had Johnson originally lined up as a receiver in the slot. He came back into the backfield and took the handoff for a nice gain. So Glenwood got a big first down there. They're at their own 47. 7:55 to go in the second quarter.
Boy, they needed that too. Comets had done really nice job on defense so far. Mason Ackerman just came in as a replacement for Chase Miller for the Comets on defense.
Carlo's going to look near side, throws a little quick out. They're going to give him the completion. Gain of 5. Miles Longmire was that receiver for Glenwood.
I think that was Chandler Johnson over there in the coverage.
So we got a 2nd and 5. Glenwood into North Polk territory for the second time tonight. Last drive, they fumbled on a little read option play. They got caught in between giving it or keeping it, and Comets came up with it. Johnson's going to sling it, going to get the toss out wide. We're going to have a flag. Probably a hold on Glenwood.
Yeah, they didn't fool anybody on that one. Comets played that really well. There were about 6 guys over there to make the tackle. Quinn Tepley, Ben Glasgow.
I think a legal shift is what they got him on.
Micah Sands was in on that play too, so Comets were not fooled.
Are we not using the mics tonight? Are they not on? Or this? There he is.
Here we go.
I spoke too soon.
Illegal shift. Offense. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Is that the first penalty tonight, Coach?
Yeah, I believe that's the first time we've heard.
It's the first use of the mic by the
We've
official.
heard the official, yeah. The guy a couple weeks ago we heard quite often,
Yes.
that Carlisle game.
Yeah.
Well, it's 3rd and 8. Carlo. Scramble, steps up, falls forward, just short of the first down. It's going to be 4th and 1.
Yeah, this is going to be 4-down territory for them. They're going to.
And Carlo's down. He kind of fell forward and had a defender on his back when he did it, I think.
Hopefully, just the wind knocked out of him.
Not the guy Glenwood wants to see down. Not that you want to see anybody down, but they're going to be facing a 4th and 1 when play resumes.
Looks like he's up and moving around. Okay, he may. Looks like he's going to be off for this play.
Who's coming in here?
Or will they run like a wildcat play where they snap it to the running back?
I think they might be doing that. They're Corbin Pelzer, I think, is back there. Number 4, he's a tight end. Scott Reed is back there. They're going to give it to Reed, and they're going to get a first down. And Carlos coming back in now. So must just got the wind knocked out of him. I think you were right on that one.
Blake Trolson back in the game on defense for the Comets. That nose position, Hunter Bassino coming out.
Glenwood is at the Comet 41, 1st and 10. Timeout, North Polk.
Something in the defensive alignment there the coach was not happy with, so.
Xavier is now up 24-0 over Waverly Shell Rock. They look like they're on their way to cruising to the 2nd round.
Yeah, if we look at those pods too, Xavier, I think they're number 1 in the RPI, so they're probably the favorite in that particular pod. I would say in that the pod Gilbert's in, they would be the favorite there, although we saw Newton earlier in the year, and Newton has a good club.
Newton's up 27-0 before the end of the first quarter on Fort Dodge tonight, over in Newton. Yeah, Newton really skilled guys.
That other pod with Davenport North, Pella, Decorah, and Western Dubuque. Pella probably the favorite in that pod.
All right, we're back here. 1st and 10 for Glenwood at the North Polk 41. 3 wide receivers. They're going to run the toss. That's to Jack Johnson. He got about 5.
Micah Sands, Ben Glasgow, Quinn Tepley there to meet him. Well, it looked like there was a seam there to start with, didn't it, Coach?
Yep,
Coming
Comets
this
did a
way.
good job of minimizing the gain there. Did get 5, though, on 1st down. Second and 5 for Glenwood. Johnson's going to motion out of the backfield. Carlo is going to throw it over the middle. It's caught by Crouch. Crouch got a nice gain down to the North Polk 22-yard line.
Quinn Tepley on the tackle. Crouch came from the near side here and kind of drug across the middle. They put all their action way over on that far side. Carlo hit him coming across.
Five and a half minutes to go, second quarter. Glenwood on the march here. They got 1st and 10 at the Comet 21. Carlo's going to keep it. He's going to go nowhere. Quinn Tepley took him down. So he got tackled at the line of scrimmage there. Carlo did by Tepley at 2nd and 10 for Glenwood.
I'm a little surprised they've gone away from Reed a little bit here, Coach.
Yeah, they have. I don't know if they're just giving some different looks to open it up when they come back to him or what they're doing. So he's going to motion. They're going to fake it to him. Carlo's going to throw it down the middle, incomplete. Threw a bullet right on the money, but wasn't able to hang on there.
It was Ethan Eisman.
Yeah, Ethan Eisman couldn't hang in onto it.
Had it in his hands and got away.
Good throw. Threw it hard.
Yeah, it was right there.
3rd and 10.
He does throw the ball with some authority, Coach. He's a nice-sized kid.
Carlo rolling out to his right. He's a lefty. He's going to turn his body. He's going to throw it to the end zone. Up for grabs. Incomplete. Crouch got a hand on it. There were a couple of Comets there covering him.
Brady Cathcart was there. Bryce Burke was there. I think Chandler Johnson was there, too. He was.
Looks like they're going to try a field goal here. Glenwood is.
Aaron Christian is 10 out of 14 this year for the Rams. This will be, they'll put it down at the 28.
38-yard field goal. Good snap. Holds down. Kicks away.
Looked like it was
I
wide.
think it was wide left.
Wide left. Comets hold.
Comets get the stop. Glenwood turned away. They, again, drove the ball down into North Polk territory, down to the 21. But, again, come away with no points.
Comets made 2 nice defensive plays there toward the end of that drive, forcing Glenwood to attempt a field goal there. 4:30 left here. Plenty of time for the Comets.
And the Comets get the ball to start the second half. So, chance to really put Glenwood in a hole here.
Glenwood still in that 3-man front.
They're going to give it to Carson Reinhardt. Carson avoids a tackle. He breaks it left side. Still on his feet. He's slung out of bounds, but he's all the way up near field.
And there's a flag on top of it.
Looked like a horse collar tackle.
Yeah, and I think it might just be unsportsmanlike or unnecessary roughness because he had him out of bounds, and I think he kind of threw him down is what it looked like from up here. It's right in front of our guys there, and so we'll see what the call is.
Another big run for Carson Reinhardt.
Yep. You're right, Coach. Horse collar.
Yeah, I think he had the hands inside the pads there.
Yeah.
Had good leverage to throw him down. Yeah, so this is going to take it probably to about the Glenwood 38-yard line.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle. Defense number 11. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run results in a first down.
To the 36-yard line. So
Yeah, it's a 28-yard run by I think Carson's probably close to or over 100, Coach, in the first
I'm
half.
pretty sure he is. All right, North Polk back in Glenwood territory at their 36. Second quarter winding down. Carson Reinhardt up the middle. And he's going to be pushed
Yeah.
forward by that offensive line.
What are your thoughts on that, Coach? I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that, but I mean, when your guys do it, it's great.
Of
but
just being able to push the runner.
yeah,
Well, they're in that situation. I don't know that any one of our guys actually was touching Carson. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
just they're blocking,
yeah,
and as people link up.
Yeah.
Now, when you get behind the quarterback sneak and you
Yeah.
just shove him, I think that's a different deal.
Yeah, you're right.
But
that kind of looked like a rugby scrum there. What
yeah,
we just saw.
it just kept moving. Glenwood showing pressure, trying to do something to stop Carson Reinhardt, but that isn't going to work. He's being pulled by the jersey again. Looks like a guy had his hand in his shoulder pads. Glenwood looks a little bit rattled here, Coach.
Yeah, Carson really does. I mean, he'll get hit and he'll turn and he'll spin and he does a really nice job of keeping his balance to get that extra yardage.
Yeah, if you don't keep your feet moving all the way through him, he's going to spin off you.
Yeah, yep. And Glenwood continues to be in that three-man front. So
Glenwood generally plays a 3-3-5. Carson Reinhardt, that time only got about a yard.
yeah,
Under 3 minutes to go, second quarter. Comets up 14-0. We'll get the ball to start the second half, so a really good 2-for-1 opportunity here.
yeah. Dylan Poles is on the tackle there, number 35. Their middle linebacker. He's their leading tackler this year.
Comets content to let the clock wind down here. 2nd and 8 at the Glenwood 18. Carson's going to spin again. There he falls forward.
Making a miss,
He
isn't
sets
he?
up that spin move so well. He just knows it's there.
Yeah.
All right, 2 minutes to go. And we got a Comet down.
Yeah, I can't tell who's down.
I think it might be Aiden Rodemaker. No, I don't think so. Minute 58 to go. Comets up 14-0 here in the first round of the 4A playoffs. Winner will likely play Sergeant Bluff Luton. Gilbert is up 14-7 at the end of the first quarter. Haven't seen a change in that score. ADM leads North Scott 13-10 mid-second quarter.
Yeah, that was Colton Booth that was down. Simon Hauser was taking some snaps on the sideline. He'll probably go in at center.
In Class 2A, Van Meter and Roland Story are tied at 7 in the second quarter. Xavier now up 38-0 on Waverly Shell Rock. 3rd and 2. Reinhardt up the middle, first down. Got 5 or 6 yards.
You know, our O-line is really getting on people and moving them, which is obviously helping Carson a lot, but Carson's doing a lot of that on his own too. But again, there's another nice run there, and our guys are just locked on the Glenwood defenders there.
Glenwood has 2 timeouts left. If I was them, I might think about using a couple to maybe have a little time yourself, given that we get the ball. Like right now. They're not going to. Minute 10 and counting.
Yeah, I think they're hoping against hope that they can keep us out of the end zone here. Just let the clock keep running.
Yeah, Comet's in no hurry. Second and goal at the 6.
Yeah, and we do have a timeout in case we need it. So
now, with James being a little limited, our quarterback keeper off all these runs is really not there. They're going to swing a little screen pass. Quick screen out to Carson Reinhardt. He's fighting forward. He's just short of the end zone. He's down to the 1-yard line.
yeah. Well, now it looked like he should have been tackled at about the 5 on that one, Coach, because there was a guy right there. And the Comets use their final timeout.
Timeout. North Polk. That's their final timeout of the half.
Well, the clock's down to 26 seconds. It's 3rd and goal.
Clock operator. If you please set the time to 28 seconds. 2-8.
Now it's at 28 seconds.
We got 2 more seconds, Coach.
Yep. Boy, what did they do back in the day where the clock was just like an analog clock? Remember it was just a sweet, you didn't know what seconds were left, did you? And people were okay with it. That's all they knew.
Yeah, I remember back in the old days in the L.A. Coliseum, where the Rams used to play, they had one of those clocks. It was down in the end zone. It was a great big huge thing, and just the old sweep hand would come around.
Yep.
Yeah. But I digress.
Yep. 3rd and goal at the 1. Glenwood has about anybody they can up at the line of scrimmage. They're going to give it on the jet sweep to Bryce Burke, and he's easily going to go into the end zone for the touchdown.
Yep. That's really a good call there, too. And we talked about, and you alluded to it, like the play before, or probably the quarterback keeping the ball and going with James' situation injury-wise. Probably not going to see that, but the run there by Bryce on that jet sweep, and he just, he had a head of steam up, and there was nobody out there to make the play.
Liam Triplett's going to kick the PAT. Kick is good, so couldn't ask for a much better first half for North Polk here, Jerry.
No. Pretty much flawless.
You don't ever want to lose, but sometimes, given what happened last week, when you won as many games as North Polk has over the last 2-3 years, sometimes the only thing that's going to, really give you a wake-up call is a loss.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about last week, too, I mean, there were, obviously there were some different circumstances that we were dealing with, too, but you're right. I'm sure, you're going into that game 7-1, and you're thinking, okay, well, this is for the district title, and then
we had prior to this year, we had Gilbert's number for quite a few years.
Oh, yeah. They have not won very many games against us. I think Coach Zizis told me that week he had looked back over some years, and going into that game, I think the overall record was we were 17-2 against them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they had not had a lot of success, but they ran their offense really well last week and played well defensively.
Yeah, they're a really solid team, no doubt. All right, there's 24 seconds to go in the first half. Triplets kick. Taking it to 10. This is the mystery person. We wonder about. Is it 89?
No, I don't think so. I think it's
39.
39.
39. Let's see.
Is that 124-pound freshman we were talking about?
It's Joe Like. It is Joe-like, according to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a freshman. He looks like he weighed more than 124. But
Yeah.
that must have been
Yeah, I think
in the summer.
before official weigh-ins
Before,
or
yeah,
after maybe.
before those good school lunches kicked in.
Yeah.
All right, 19 seconds to go. They're going to give it to Scott Reed. He's going nowhere. And I don't know that Glenwood's going to even bother with any timeouts. So that's going to be the last play of the half. Comets will get the ball to start. 21-0 our halftime score. Jerry, final thoughts before we take a break.
Well, as we said, the Comets played really well the first half. They took advantage of the one Glenwood fumble, drove down, scored a touchdown, and the offensive line has played really well. And Carson Reinhardt has been toting the mail, so to speak. As we mentioned, we're pretty certain he's over 100 yards because he's ripped off a couple of nice chunk gains here tonight. Comets are playing well.
All right, well, we're going to take a break for halftime here, so we'll catch you up on the second half after a while. Comets lead at 21-0.
They score B 32, C 36, D 64. There are 36 teams in Class 4A football. Question number 2. How many 4A football teams qualify for the playoffs? A, 8, B, 12, C, 16, or D, 24? Correct answer
I got it right.
is
Okay.
16.
That's good.
Question number 3. The Unidome began hosting Iowa High School State football finals in what year? A, 1962, B, 1976, C, 1985, or D, 1998? And I was slow, but that was 50 years ago, nearly 76. How many states have schools playing six-man high school football? A, 3, B, 5, C, 6, D, 9. B, 9. No idea what state. And our last question, number 5. How much wider are high school field goal posts than college and NFL field goal posts? A, 4 feet, B, 4 feet 10 inches, C, 5 feet, D, 5 feet 10 inches. 4 foot 10 inches. The Kitchen and Bath Company of Aiken is proud to support Norfolk schools. They're your local expert in selling kitchens, beautiful bathrooms, and custom home organization. From cabinets to countertops, closets to shower doors, they do it all with quality you can trust. Serving the Des Moines Metro and proud to support our community. Thank you to the Kitchen and Bath Company for their support of North Polk.
Next one's
No, that's how many people are on right now. 14, 16 is
the auditorium I've never seen go up like. Nope.
Okay, came from the crew eating.
Audio pulling.
No, the crew eating. Email from YouTube tomorrow. Be like, I don't want to we're taking your frame down.
Chair back.
Black pepper.
Grady, I'm sitting on your lap.
Okay. How many black pepper?
Oh.
Not slide off. Big baby.
Like I'm probably the fattest one.
Definitely. It's a bad idea.
Why is your preview just done?
It's on the replay. Previous one. If you see, I can kind of like go forward and backwards to it. Annoyingly, only camera 2, so the zoom camera and then Hagen's camera will let me replay. The stationary camera is
Dennis
camera. No, it is something here, but I forgot what.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Anything wrong?
Probably pepper cider. What no? North Pole was pepper.
No, I know. But we don't get copyright by any songs.
But we don't play it over the screen. Put my little screen. That's how we got it from. Yeah, I like overlooked though.
Mr. Colbert.
The admin looks over it.
Mr. Colbert. Mr. Blair.
I'm pushing you.
songs?
I'm pushing you away, Gary. Mr. Goldberg said. You already do that record with me. That's not just it. What do you think of the conversation? Okay. You gotta have your screen though. You guys are the commentator. I have a screen. Coach is not here. It's me, Lucas commentating. Yeah, with like 0 balls in the first one, you know?
And they have the ball. I
Alright.
think.
Once
you've had the ball,
I can get it.
No, John.
He's next to now.
At about 3 miles an hour. Maybe we
Wow,
can pick up the pace a little
We
bit.
just zoom in on it.
We got here? Evidently not. We're trying to get more.
Good idea.
We got food too if you want. No, that's my beef. Grady, I think
There's
you're
not
having
right
it.
there.
Yeah, no, I thought I was good.
Be careful. Yeah, Grady had stole 2-minute burgers.
So that case of illegal Argentinian beef.
Grady, I thought you
Get up, Grady. I need to put some in the street.
Man, I hope they don't find my burger.
Alright, I'm gonna try and get the logo on here. Let's see how well this goes.
I think it's
Ladies and gentlemen, we have had a cell phone turned into the press box. We have a light blue iPhone with a clear case. Please come up here and unlock it with your face. With your face.
Or bring it. Let's head up the spike. The big Mr. Doses. Or your PIN number.
They
Face
have a
mask.
face mask. Is there a 5 and 15 variety in high school, or is it all 15?
I think it's all 15.
So they're going to mark it off from the 42. Come on. And he's still going. Yep, it's going to be 15.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 6. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Colton Boo is back at center for the Comets, so he was shaken up toward the end of the first half, and he's back in now, so evidently he is okay. That's good to see.
Comets 1st and 10 at the Glenwood 43. Davis Caves takes the jet sweep. Cuts it up, got about 3 yards. Maybe 2.
Looks like that was Shane Pratt on the tackle over there, number 8 for the Rams.
Jerry, we were talking at halftime, and you were saying you think, and I think you're right, that North Polk has never lost a playoff game on this new field.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. I believe the first playoff game that we held on this field was against Creston.
Carson Reinhardt bounces it outside on the far side of the field.
Boy, he looked like that was going to be stacked up for no gain, didn't it?
That's kind of the story of the season for him.
Yeah.
It's going to be 3rd and about 5.
Yeah, so victory over Creston. Then the following year, we had 2 home games here. We won both of those games because we were in the semifinals in the Dome that year. And then last year, the 2 home games. And then we went on and won the state title last year. So.
And well on our way, excuse me, to keeping that going here. So 21-0. Comets are on the move. First drive of the second half. It's 3rd and 5 at the Glenwood 38. James Armstrong is going to throw the slant. Carter Harris. And I think Carter came down with it. He did. Catch in traffic.
And the official on the far side is saying move it. Looks like we got a personal foul.
We got roughing the passer. Glenwood self-destructing.
Didn't see who it was that was in on there.
Well, number 55 reacted as if he had the arms out like, I didn't do anything, you know. So feel like maybe it was him.
That was really a nice catch by Carter. He had a defender right in his hip pocket.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 11. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
My apologies to number 55. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, he must have come off that far side.
That was Graham Newberry, linebacker number 11. Ben Glasgow in motion. They're going to give it to Carson Reinhardt. Feels his way, goes around the right end. He's got a lot of room. He bulldozes his way. Did he get in? I think he did.
I think he's short.
Oh, come on. He got in.
16-yard run.
And there's a flag down.
Is that going to be on us? Got a hold?
Yep.
Blocking it back.
Hold on the Comets. So there's the first penalty on the Comets.
Illegal use of the hands. Hands in the face. Number 64 offense. It's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
Well, that makes it 1st and 20. Clock moving, 9:45 and counting to go here, third quarter. Opening drive of the third quarter, Comets up 21-0. Carson Reinhardt takes it to the left side, cuts it back, slams forward.
Picked up about 6.
He's never in between decisions, is he, Carson?
No.
He decides what he's going to do, and he does it.
Yeah.
That's a good running back.
Calvin Heisman's coming in for him. I don't know if his shoe came off there or.
Yeah, I think he lost a shoe. Calvin comes in. Calvin usually gets the ball for about an 8-yard gain when he comes in, so we'll see what happens here. James is going to throw it. He's got Bryce. Bryce wants a flag, and he got one.
Yep. Interference on number 6.
Jack Johnson.
And the coverage was good as a little too good. Glenwood is in a 4-man front now on this drive. Start the second half, so that's an adjustment that they've made at halftime.
Pass interference. Defense number 6. You have to distance from the previous spot. Repeat, first down. Correction, second down.
That is something, if people don't watch a lot of high school football, that is different in high school. Every pass interference is not necessarily a first down.
Right.
Which in college and pros it is. So 2nd and 4 after the pass interference at the Glenwood 11. Calvin Heitzman up the middle. Now, Coach, we were talking last week or so about the officials announcing the numbers. So
Yeah.
it must be something that they do now because
Yeah.
he's doing it also. So
Yep.
so our apologies to previous officials that I was criticizing.
But I think at one time that is correct, Coach, that they, in high school, that they.
Yeah, it never was. But, of
Didn't-
course, they didn't have mics on
Yeah.
hardly ever either.
Well,
anyway,
yeah,
right?
that's true, yeah.
3rd and 1.
That was a nice run by Calvin there.
Carson Reinhardt. Right through the middle of the defense for a touchdown. 27-0 Comets.
Took off just under 4 minutes.
Liam Triplett on again. Trying to put the Comets up 28-0.
And he does.
Boy, they blow that whistle fast on those PATs. You know that?
Yeah.
He hardly kicked it. And they
Yeah.
blow it.
Well, the ball's coming off his foot so quickly.
I guess, yeah. It just seems quick. But anyway, 8 minutes, 1 second to go. 3rd quarter. Comets 28, Glenwood 0. Glenwood's in trouble, Coach Walker.
Yeah, they are. They really needed to get a stop on that opening possession because now they're down 4 scores. And what's my math tell me? There's 20 minutes of actual playing time left, and with the exception of one run in the first quarter by Reed,
Yeah.
when he popped off that 35-yarder, they've not had any big chunk plays.
And then they fumbled, yeah.
Yep. So they're going to need to score in a hurry, and so which means probably that they're going to be throwing the ball a lot here.
North Scott 17, ADM 13 in the 3rd quarter in Adel. Newton cruising, like we mentioned earlier, over Fort Dodge.
Yeah, and that's one of those games where both teams come in 8-1, and you think, wow, that should be a pretty close game.
Return by number 39. There he is again. Joe Like,
We think it's Joe.
we think. It's definitely number 39.
It's definitely number
I
39.
know that.
Yes, we have figured that out.
I believe it's Joe Like. All right, Glenwood. Got to get something going here.
And so the danger here for the Comets on defense is, hey, you got to continue to keep playing, play it like it's a scoreless ball game.
Comet D swarms to the ball. No gain on that run. Maybe one.
Yeah, Ben Glasgow initially making the play there. Jace Jetman was in on the tackle as well.
Jace Jetman's really stepped up as a sophomore. Had a nice season for the Comets.
Yeah, he really has. And Coach Chris told me he's one of the best tacklers on the team.
Throw over the middle, complete. And that'll be a Glenwood first down. Lincoln Scarnelius.
He was run out by Brady Cathcart over there.
I guess the bright side for Glenwood is they do have a lot of time. I mean, it's 7 minutes to go third quarter, but they have to score on this drive.
Yeah, they do.
They're going to give it to Reed, and he's up the middle, and he's got a lot of yardage. He's still going.
There's a nice run there.
He got about 18 yards. Scott Reed with a chunk run there. He's the leading rusher in 4A coming into this one. Glenwood, quick on the line of scrimmage. Scott Reed again. Another nice run. Got about 6, maybe 7 with forward progress.
Ben Glasgow on the tackle. There are whistles.
Officials, timeout.
Now, what are the officials' timeouts for?
I don't know if they need to reset the chain over there or something. Or I believe the initial whistle was by the linesman over on that far side.
All right, 2nd and 5. High snap. Incomplete pass there by Carlo. Throwing it out there for Ethan Eisman, number 18.
I think Quinn Tepley was over there in the coverage. I think Chandler Johnson is also, he had the man who was in the shorter route over there. Chandler and Bryce Burke are the corners right now for the Comets.
Scott Reed tripped up. Ben Glasgow, nice play.
Ben was right there.
It's going to be 4th and 5. Got to go for it if you're Glenwood.
Yep, you have to.
Just about a must convert here. Ben Carlo. He's going to throw it deep left side. He's got a man wide open. It's going to be a touchdown. Caden Crouch got behind the Comet D there. So Glenwood had to convert, and they did that and then some for a touchdown.
Yeah, I think Bryce got caught with his eyes in the backfield there because normally he's right there.
Yeah, he ran right by him.
Mm-hmm.
Was wide open. And Carlo made a nice throw to Caden Crouch, who went in for the touchdown. Glenwood's going to kick the PAT, and it's good. So it's 28-7. Glenwood had to get a score, and they did. That Jose Diaz with the PAT for Glenwood.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the Comets respond now. And again, we mentioned at the beginning of the second half there, they were alert for a possible onside kick. And so we'll see what Glenwood does here. They weren't able to slow the Comets down on their first series of this half, so we'll see what they do here.
No, they've been trying different things, different looks, bringing pressure from different places. But when you've got that run pass option in your bag, that you can almost use whatever they do against them.
Yeah.
You make them wrong, as they say.
Whatever they decide is wrong.
Whatever they decide is wrong. They're gonna have to hold the ball. It's that wind is straight out of the west, but that flag is blowing pretty good. So they think it's going to stay on this time. There's an onside kick. They're going to get a good bounce. Oh, he batted at it. He could have had it. It's still loose. I think North Polk got it.
I think so, yeah. That's ended up being kind of a wild.
I don't know why the Glenwood guy batted it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
He could have caught it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it had a really, that's one of the types of onside kicks that you practice, and boy, it really had a nice hop there.
Officials timeout for an injury on the field.
So I can't tell who it is.
Glenwood had about Blaine Spees, I think, is
yeah.
the guy that's down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glenwood had 3 different shots at that kick. We had a couple and finally got on it. It was a good onside kick.
Oh, boy, yeah. You can't do it much better than that. And I thought they were going to get it, too. And like you said, the first guy kind of batted at it. And I'm not
I don't know.
Not sure what his thought
don't know
process was there.
I don't know why he did that. We got the replay there. Let's replay that kick again. We got a moment here. Yeah, so they had a guy who wasn't lined up as the kicker kick the ball. They get the nice high bounce. Right there. That guy had a shot at it, and he just kind of batted it. So
he could have.
Yeah. And then it scored it out again at the end, and they got on it. So
Looked like he could have just.
Comets got on it.
Looked like he could have just snatched that right out of the air there.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to see what happened down there.
I think he was
Blaine
in the pile of where the ball ended up. Yeah.
And because, our guys that are on the sideline, not in the game, were standing right there in front of where it happened. And it's, our visibility is obscured in that situation.
Well, Glenwood, Jerry, if they get a stop here and put another one on the board before this quarter's over, that's a whole different deal.
Yeah, it is.
It's 28-14 all of a sudden.
Yeah. So again, what we got to try to do is, again, control the ball like we've been doing it. Just eat some clock. Well, this doesn't look great here.
No, he's coming off and not putting any pressure on that right leg. So.
There was no foul on the previous play. First down, North Polk.
I wonder if he got rolled up over there in that pile. Yeah.
28-7 here. Comets taking over at their own 33. Mason Ackerman in motion to the left side of the formation. Carson Reinhardt going to take it on the left side. He's going to cut it back, flag down, probably a hold on the Comets.
Yeah. Carson really reads that pretty well. He, on that play to that wide side there, he knows he can't get clear to the edge and bring it upfield, so he gets that foot in the ground and makes a cut up back up inside, and Had the flag not occurred, he probably would have gotten about a 5-yard gain out of it.
They're taking their time announcing this penalty and,
Yeah.
and moving the ball. I noticed that. So when I said the game went quickly in that first half, we're moving the other way right now.
Yeah.
Holding. Offense number 3, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
Well, we ran it on 1st and 20 the last time we were in this situation, so we'll see what we do here.
Armstrong's going to throw it up the seam. He's got Bryce Burke open. Bryce has got it. Got behind the defense. He's going to score. It's a touchdown. What an answer by the Comets. What a call. What a throw.
Yeah, nice little play action fake. Now, he didn't really ride it deep into the line, but it's kind of a token fake, and Bryce just ran by the defender. So now he's even for the last defensive stand.
Yep, he got it back.
Yeah.
He got it back. It's about the same thing that happened to him. Triplets kick is good. It is 35-7. 5:28 to go in the third quarter. North Polk leads Glenwood here in the first round of the Class 4A 2025 playoffs.
It's on. Yep, it's on replay.
Now, Glenwood, I'm sure, went from having kind of an emotional high after going down and scoring, and then on the second play of the ensuing drive, giving up a 77-yard touchdown play.
That would be a little deflating.
Yeah.
Got to be, because you think, well, we get and plus the fact they had a good chance at recovering that onside kick. I mean, a really good chance.
Yeah. And now they're 4 scores behind again.
Yep, just like that.
You know, we really haven't been a big play team like that most of the year. We've been content to kind of grind things and maybe score from some intermediate distances, but that I think might be our longest one of the year.
They're going to run the reverse on the kick again, and that's going to go backwards.
Carson Reinhardt
And there's a flag down at the 8-yard line, right on that yellow soccer line. They're gonna call holding.
Yeah, Reinhardt and Chandler Johnson were down there making the tackle, and Glenwood's going to be going back toward their own goal line here.
During the return, receiving team 21 holding 10 yards or half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul, first down.
$35-7. Glenwood gets it back here. We still got 5:20 to go, third quarter. Carlo going to throw that screen out there. Caught by Miles Longmire. And they got about a 5-yard gain on first down.
Yeah.
Glenwood likely going to keep getting to the line and going fast here. They have no choice.
Yeah, Chandler Johnson on the tackle over there on that far side.
Right back at it's Glenwood. They're going to give it to Scott Reed. He's going to go up the middle and get the first down.
Looks like Jace Jetman. Jace is on the tackle there.
Scarnelius into the backfield. They're going to give it the ball to Lincoln Scarnelius. He's going to cut it upfield. Got a nice run. Ben Glasgow runs him out of bounds. Second and 4. Ben Carlo steps up towards the sideline, incomplete. Had a man open. Threw it a little too much towards that sideline. So
Chandler Johnson over there on the coverage. Most of the Comet starters still in there on defense. Bryce Burke just coming in replacing Carter Harris at a corner. The 3 interior linemen, Sands, Miller, and Trulson, are still in there for the Comets up front.
Carlo over the middle, incomplete. Crouch was open. Throw was maybe a little low. I think Crouch was maybe thinking about the free safety waiting for him there.
Yeah, that was one of the plays too and they have completed that a couple of times in this game. That was one that they liked in previous games that we looked at prior to this one. You know, they haven't come back to that bunch set, Coach, that you mentioned earlier. You know, we thought they might be trying to set something up.
4th and 4. Carlo throws it out. It's going to be incomplete. Throw was behind Crouch, and Comets are going to take over deep into Glenwood territory with 4:27 to go in the third quarter and a 35-7 lead for North Polk.
Well, and Glenwood had to go for it there. I mean, they had no other choice, down 4 scores, and you know, their inability, other than that one series, really to move the ball. They've not been able to get anything going consistently on offense tonight. But they had to do it there, and Comets benefit from the short field here.
All right, Comets got a bunch formation to the right and one receiver to the left side. Calvin Heitzman's in at running back. They'll give it to Calvin. Calvin's hit at the line of scrimmage and stood up by Glenwood on that one.
There's about 4 Glenwood defenders over there making that play.
Ball right back where it was at the 30-yard line. 2nd and 10. No need to go fast for North Polk now.
No.
You're up 35-7 in the third. They can take it down to 1 second on the play clock every time, I would think. Just about there, yeah. James is going to throw. He's going to step up, and he's just going to flip the ball away.
Yeah.
He was outside the tackle, so he can throw it to no one in particular. There you can see that, healthy James, he would have run that for a lot of yardage there.
Yeah. He'd have been down inside the 10 with a healthy knee there.
But, he's played a good game.
Yeah, he
when
really has.
you have to play in a way that you haven't played all year.
Yep.
Because you're not as mobile.
Right.
And you got to become a pocket passer. Only a pocket passer,
Yeah. Yeah, they haven't run any bootlegs or anything like that tonight where he's had to move a lot.
James looking left side, throws it over the middle. It is intercepted. I think the ball was kept in the air, laying on some people, and Glenwood's going to take it back the other way. Brady Cathcart got his hand on it.
I thought he almost came down with that one.
I think he was trying to, and I think Corbin Frazier just grabbed it and took it. Well, Glenwood throwing a lifeline there. About right where they gave it up on their last turnover on down. So Nice job by the Comet Run D there. Scott Reed got 2, maybe 3 on first down.
Micah Sands on the tackle. I think Blake was in on that too. Blake Trolson. Comet defensive line really have done a nice job against this formidable, nice, big Glenwood front here.
Carlo looking for that tunnel screen again, and he's going to be taken down. I don't know if they got a face mask on the tackle. Nope, they got a hold on Glenwood.
Charlie Spurgeon ran him down from behind.
Yeah, nice play by Charlie. I think coach is going to decline this one, maybe. Nope, I think it's
Holding. Offense. That penalty is declined. Third down.
Yep, he's declining it.
Yep.
He picked the ball up and moved the ball, so I didn't know what was happening there. Then he put it right back down.
Little sleight of hand.
3rd and 11 after the sack by Charlie Spurgeon. Was it a sack? Was it the quarterback running it? I forget.
Yeah, well, at this point, kind of
Ben Carlo.
starting to come.
That's
There
a
we go.
sack.
That's a
Micah
sack.
Sands takes him down.
It's kind of, some of these things are kind of becoming a little irrelevant at
Yeah,
this
yeah,
point.
the things are blurring together.
Yeah.
It's going to be fourth and a mile, and I think Glenwood's just going to punt this one.
Yeah.
I don't really have a choice here, I don't think.
Yeah,
Jose Diaz is the punter for Glenwood. Comet fans getting into it here. Almost blocked.
might have tipped that.
Oh, it hit a
Hit a Glenwood player.
yeah, it hit
didn't
him right there.
Yeah.
So
Good field position for the Comets
Yeah.
again.
Brody Johnson might have gotten a hand on that punt. So, minute 35 to go, third quarter. 35-7, Comets lead.
I think we're at a point here that the wheels would have to completely come off, Coach.
No
for the
doubt.
Comets not to be traveling next week.
And
And I
you
don't-
know, you wonder, do we get James out of there? You know, that kind of thing you start thinking about next week here with him a little banged up. So
yeah.
James going to throw it deep. Ben Glasgow, single coverage. Right through his hands.
That was number 5, Gavin Ebbett, on the coverage there. Was that kind of the no-fly zone thing that he was
I don't
doing?
know. You know, he gave he wanted a little attention for making that play. (24-20) North Scott. Early fourth quarter at over ADM. Pella leads Davenport North 14-7, late fourth quarter.
Oh. Now that game's a little closer than I thought it would be.
Nice play defensively by Glenwood
Yeah.
there. That was
Yeah.
Dylan Prowls.
Yep, number 35, the middle linebacker.
3rd and 9 for the Comets. Sergeant Bluff 142-7 over Lamar's. Xavier beat Waverly Shell Rock 47-0.
I think they may have played earlier in the season.
I think they did.
Did they?
And it's a pretty similar result, I think. All right, 3rd and 9 for the Comets. 45 seconds to go, third quarter, clock running. Play action pass.
yeah.
There, he just couldn't quite plant his leg there to get
Yeah.
anything on that one. Incomplete.
And that was that boot action that we talked about earlier that they'd not run yet tonight. He did have some pressure, too, on that one.
Jace Jetman's going to come on to punt. Standing at his own 40. 2 men back deep for Glenwood. Jace gets it away. Another nice punt. Spiral, turns over. Look at that. What a punt. He even kicked it with the wrong foot.
And he got a really nice snap this time from Cole Rumball. Cole got that one up a little higher for him, and ball went out just inside the 10.
Yeah, it was a great punt.
Yeah.
All right, 1st and 10 at the 9 for Glenwood. 31 seconds to go. They're down 35-7. They're going to say a complete pass on the far sideline. That was Longmire.
Chandler Johnson on the coverage over there. We'll give him those 3-yard pass plays all night long.
Yep, make them use that clock.
It's good coverage by Chandler over there.
Carlo, incomplete. Hit as he threw. Chase Miller took him down.
Intended for Eisman coming across.
Third and 7. 6 seconds to play. This will be the last play of the third quarter, most likely. 4 wide for Glenwood. Combat D-line is licking their chops. Micah Sands had him around the ankles, and Carson Reinhardt was there to finish him off. And he was tackled short of the first down.
The end of the third quarter. Mr. Cummins leading 45.
It'll be 4th and 2 when we come back from the quarter break here. Score I'm seeing here, Lewis Central 24, Gilbert 21, 4th quarter. Johnston 34, Ankeny Centennial 20, 3rd quarter. Iowa City West has moved ahead 31-17 up at Cedar Falls in the 3rd quarter.
Taking it to the Tigers.
Ankeny and Southeast Polk tied at 14 in the 4th quarter. Valley led Cedar Rapids Prairie 20-7 at the half. That was probably a while back, though. Decorah 17, Western Dubuque 17 in the 3rd quarter. Good game in Epworth.
Yes, Western Dubuque.
Epworth. What other towns are in Western Dubuque, Jerry?
You know, I'm not sure, but I do know that that is the largest school district geographically
Yeah, it's huge.
in the state.
Farley is also in
Farley's over
Western
there,
Dubuque.
yeah.
I believe Piasta might fall into Western Dubuque.
Isn't there a community college in Piasta?
Northeast Iowa Community
Yeah,
College.
That's what I thought.
Yep, on the way into Dubuque there.
Yeah. Pretty country over
It
there.
really is.
You know, if that Lewis Central Gilbert score holds, oh, here comes Glenn. We're going to run it quickly. We got the
We got a scrum. We got to fight after the play. That's going to be a flag on 59. I don't know how there's not a flag. That's got to be a flag. And they're going to get a first down.
Oh,
That was pretty blatant.
yeah. Well, there are some things I know as an official that you kind of let go, but not sure that would have been one of them.
Carlo throws it out, complete. Lincoln Scarnelius. The game is possibly getting a little chippy,
Yeah.
Jerry, as they say.
Yeah. Ben Glasgow, Jace Jetman, We're on the tackle there. The thing we got to make sure that we don't do now is let emotions get the better of us after that no call that we just had.
Second and 9 for Glenwood. They're taking their time. Down by 28 here. Carlo's going to run it. He's going to have the first down. That was a late hit. I mean, I think the one on us should have been called, but that was a late hit. He was out of bounds.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I was watching. There was something going on up here. I think maybe Chase Miller was involved with it.
Chase's helmet's off.
Yeah, a Glenwood lineman was just laying on him. Xander McCready coming into the game for the Comets.
Like I said, things are getting a little chippy.
They are a little frustration on Glenwood's side, and then
on that last one, I thought he was in the white and Chandler Johnson. Not intentionally, but I think it was late.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Defense number 25. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
I think our guys may still be thinking about that no call that Ben should have got earlier a couple plays ago, but we got to just play on.
Boy, they almost didn't look set on that when they snapped it. Scott Reed churning forward for about 14 yards, first down.
Cathcart and Johnson were on the tackle there for the Comets. Glenwood in a hurry now.
I mean, I know that running's probably part of their deal, but they don't have time to run. They just don't. They're down 28.
And I think, maybe the idea there is, well, they're expecting pass, and so they're spread out. We'll spread them out, maybe try to pop something. But you're right.
If you get down 28, that's part of being down 28. They're
Yeah.
expecting pass, and you've got to pass.
Yeah.
No reason to honor those play action fakes at this point.
That's got to be a hold. Didn't get
Another
called.
no-call hold. Ball's incomplete. I thought the ball's.
Yeah, I did. It came out.
Jason Jetman picked the ball up. It was incomplete.
Yeah. Quintepley was on the coverage over there.
I think it might be best for the Comets and the Rams and the officiating crew. This game winds down pretty quick.
Yeah.
Carlo swings it out on a screen to Reed. He's going to have a first down. Inside the 20, out of bounds there. Glenwood quick to the line of scrimmage here. Carlo throws it out. Complete to Crouch. Got about 6. 9:30 to go. Fourth quarter. Comets 35. Glenwood 7. Winner looking like the Comets. And the Comets are going to head up to Sergeant Bluff. They were a big winner tonight over Lamar's. I got to correct something I said in the first half. The monument in Sioux City area is for Sergeant Floyd. The town Sergeant Bluff might have something to do with that. But there's a monument that is a miniature version of like the Washington Monument in Sioux City.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, an obelisk. You ever heard that?
No.
That's what shape that monument is.
Oh.
The Washington Monument.
Okay.
Or it's an obelisk.
Okay.
One of the two. I'm saying it wrong probably.
Time out.
Meanwhile, there's a game going on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll get some text.
Yeah,
if you are
it was right when I said that, I thought, there's something about that I just don't think was right. Sergeant Floyd is the one who passed away on the Lewis and Clark journey
Okay.
up the Missouri in western Iowa. So I guess I don't know who Sergeant Bluff was. If he's related to that, I'm not sure.
I'll bet there's a bluff over there.
There's plenty. Yeah, Sioux City's got some bluffs.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank our live stream sponsor, Black Birch Homes and Design, for letting us bring this playoff game to you.
We appreciate that a lot.
Student section still into the game. Got a lot of Halloween costumes over there. Carlo is going to run it for a first down. He's going to slide down at the 6. 7, they'll say he started to slide. Clock ticking. We're going to be here momentarily. 8:45 in the fourth quarter. Final home game of the year for the Comets. Chase Miller, nice play there. Scott Reed wrapped up. Short gain. Again, they don't have time to run, but okay.
And you know, like we had mentioned earlier, we really have done, for the most part, a pretty good job on Scott Reed tonight. He's had a couple of big runs, but for the most part, he's not made a lot of hay tonight.
Carlo's going to throw a touchdown pass. Stepped up in the pocket there, found the man in the end zone. That was Miles Longmire for the touchdown. Makes it 35-13.
3-score game.
3-score game. Glenwood's going to go for the PAT here. Then undoubtedly another onside kick. I think it's good. Did anybody signal? We'll say it was good.
Yeah.
I was watching the activity behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I was too.
There's some people going down.
I was listening to the PA, and he said it was good, so must have been good.
Yeah, put it on the board.
Hawk.
Hawk Harrelson.
Hawk Harrelson.
There you go. That was a great duo back in the day. You know his partner back in the day.
Who was that?
Hawk and Wimpy.
Oh, yeah.
Tom
yeah,
Paciorek.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were fun to listen to.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if you didn't really like the White Sox, they were enjoyable.
I have two of my brothers-in-law are big, just lifelong White Sox fans. And they love listening to those two.
Yep. Well, we've talked about Sergeant Floyd and Hawk Harrelson and
Wimpy.
Hawk and Wimpy.
Not to be confused with the cartoon character Wimpy in the Popeye cartoons.
No. Hawk Harrelson had a great call on a strikeout. Looking, you know what he'd just say?
What?
He gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gone.
Oh.
All right, here comes some sort of onside kick. Two kickers out there. 89 is Diaz. He's right by. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and kick it again. They had a shot at it last time. That's going to be fielded nicely. Was that Calvin over there?
Sure.
No, shorter than Calvin. No, it was Calvin.
Yep. Good hands by
Not
Calvin.
that Calvin's short. My apologies to Calvin. But good job Kelvin Heitzman. So it's 35-14. Comets will get to work on using that clock.
You know, and there's really right now, there's enough time left where you're not just extremely comfortable because a lot can happen. And
Carson Reinhardt gained a 3.
a lot can happen in just under 8 minutes left.
Reinhardt, tackled by Polk. Ball out to the 48.
Glenwood only has 2 timeouts. Comets will take the play clock down as far as they can on every play here, as long as the clock's running. Carson Reinhardt, he's going to be tackled. They're ripping at that ball.
Yep. Picked up about 3 more, though.
Down around the 49-yard line.
Very impressive season running the ball for Carson Reinhardt.
Yeah, he really has. He's got to be close to 1,000 yards for the season. He was at, I don't know, 859, I think, or something close to that.
I think he was like 894.
891.
So
okay.
he for sure is at 1,000
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think, coming into the season, they were really quite sure what they had at running back.
Jet sweep. Bryce Burke's going to bounce it outside. Stay in bounds. He's going to go out of bounds.
Pelzer forces Burke out of bounds.
If you weren't going to get the first down, you want to stay in bounds there, Coach Walker.
Yeah. He probably is not, although he is a baseball player, probably hasn't practiced sliding much on the football
Well, whether you slide or not, just run to the center of the field. You know,
Yeah.
you might get tackled, but that's.
If he slides and
Jace
stays-
Jetman gets it away. Look at that. Still another spiral. That one's more out of bounds, though.
Yeah.
No, not as far
bad.
as I thought. I think the wind pushed it back a little bit. It was a west
Yeah.
wind. Another great punt.
Boy,
Right down to the 15. Plus, he had to handle another low snap.
yeah, Jason's done a nice job handling some snaps tonight. That's for sure.
Well, whatever the Comet D does is you got to make them run 8, 9, 10 plays if they're going to score.
Yeah.
It can't be a quick score. You're up by 21.
Yeah, you really have to.
Keep them in front and tackle them. And wait for an overthrow and intercept it, and then it's chips and salsa time at that point. And they're going to run it to Jack Johnson.
Micah Sands over there, Ben Glasgow. Charlie Spurgeon was coming too, so. And those wide running plays like that takes up time too, Coach.
Yep.
You know.
Probably a full 30 seconds off the clock after the last play there.
Yeah.
Pass complete to Longmire. I don't think he got the first down. I think he might be right at it.
Reinhardt and Jetman on the tackle there.
It's third down. Third and less than a yard. Maybe. No, it's first down. Now they're going to move the chains.
Yep.
Clock running. Comets content to let it run. Carlo's going to step up for a 1 or 2 yard gain. Not a sack, but nice play by Micah Sands. Micah just a football player, Coach
Yes,
Walker.
he is. And I think Chase Miller was in on that too. But yeah, both of those guys.
Glenwood not moving with any urgency.
No.
Garlow throws, completed. First down.
You know, one of the things that off air before the game that you and I talked about a little bit too is that, you know, Glenwood realistically is probably a year away anyway. They started 8 juniors on the offensive side of the ball tonight, so a lot of those guys are going to be back.
They're going to give him that one. That's a first down.
It's a nice catch over there. That was, is that number 1?
I think that was 7. That was
Number 7?
Crouch.
That was
Caden
Crouch.
Crouch.
Okay. He is their leading receiver this year coming into this game. He's made some nice catches so far.
He's easy for me to remember because the only other 7 named Crouch I remember is Eric Crouch. And he was number 7, see, so I don't know of any relation, but
okay.
who knows?
Yeah, well, he's over from
Western Iowa. That,
yeah,
a lot of Husker fans out there.
Yeah, could be. You're not familiar with Mickey Mantle, then?
Say what now?
I said you're not familiar with Mickey Mantle, number 7.
I understand who
For
Mickey
the
Mantle.
Yankees.
No, but he was also named Crouch.
Oh yeah, I
Is
get
what
it.
I'm saying.
Oh,
Yeah, I know who Mickey Mantle is.
Okay.
John Elway. And
but oh, okay, so
see, I mean, his name was Crouch, and this kid's name's Crouch.
gotcha.
See,
Okay,
that's what.
okay, got
Yeah, I know Mickey Mantle.
you. Okay,
Switch hitter
yes, yeah.
from Oklahoma.
Yep, Commerce, Oklahoma.
Mm.
In case you ever go.
Johnny
on-
Bench, also from Oklahoma.
Yeah, from Binger.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a couple. If you ever go on Jeopardy, you know
There was
those-
a era Oklahoma was just churning out the Hall of Famers.
Yeah, they were. I know Coach Middleton is listening to this. He's probably getting a kick out of this baseball stuff we're talking about here. We're digressing.
We are. Glenwood, 3rd and 5 here. Carlo, nice pass.
You know, it was.
That was on a line. Jack Johnson, so it's 4:12 to go. They're down 3 touchdowns, but they're on the move inside the Comet 25.
Brady Cathcart was there on the tackle. Boy, I'd like to see us keep him out of the end zone here. You know what? You know, we're playing soft here, which is, you know, what you need to be doing because, you know, you want him to take as much time as possible. Giving up the underneath stuff.
Because, I mean, even if they score right now, they're down 14 with
Yeah.
4 minutes left,
Yeah.
and they got an onside kick again. All right, read in motion. They're going to swing it out to him, incomplete. Carlo throws a nice ball. Once in a while, maybe he throws it a little too hard. That one maybe needed to be a change-up more than a fastball.
Yeah, he has had some that he has put right there, right on the money. And then he's thrown some other ones like that one, like you mentioned. He's taken a little off, and he's thrown some in the dirt. So, as we mentioned, though, he's a junior, and so that consistency, I'm sure, will come.
He's got good pocket presence. He steps up
Yeah.
and runs. He reads when he has to.
Mhm.
He's out of bounds. They're going to give him a first down. 3:55 to go.
Hunter Bassino's coming in to replace Blake Trolson for the Comets in that defensive front.
Is this an official's timeout?
I'm not sure, Coach.
I think it is. How many timeouts do the officials get before they're out? They've used a couple, 3 this one.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the rule book to see what it says on that one.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm not sure the officials do either.
Now we're leaving the field. Now Glenwood's coming back on the field. Now we're coming back on the field. Officials are still huddled up over there.
The previous play ended out of bounds. Please, clock operator, put it to 4 minutes and 1 second. 4:01, please.
Comet fans disapprove.
Yeah. Shades of that Ballard playoff game coming back to haunt
Yeah,
us here.
we're a long way from that. That was a
Yeah.
dire situation,
Yeah.
score-wise.
Yeah.
Carlo flushed out of the pocket to the left. He's going to run it again.
Well, you might get in.
Oh, he cuts it
Yeah.
in for a touchdown. Nice job by him. 3:53 to go. It's 35-20. Now things are getting closer to being interesting. Kick's good. We got something going on again after the kick.
3:53 left in the fourth quarter. North Polk 35, Glenwood 21.
Okay, 35-21. Glenwood's good onside kick again. They've got 2 timeouts. North Polk has successfully fielded 2 onside kicks. We've had some extracurricular activity after some plays here in the second half.
Yeah, some frustration on one side and a little bit of retaliation of the frustration from the other side.
You know, Jerry, since you usually come up with these pretty quick, left-handed quarterback number 12, who's the first one comes to mind?
Kenny Staples.
There it is. Wasn't even hard.
The snake.
The snake.
Played for the Bear in
Yep.
Alabama.
And then for the Raiders.
Yep.
They threw passes to those guys that had so much stickum on their uniform that they caught balls by accident.
Yeah. Lester Hayes was selling that stuff out of his trunk to the rest of the
Here
guys.
comes a quick
It is.
onside kick, and they're going to get that one. That was well executed.
I think it might have hit one of their guys before it went 10.
I don't know. They were very close to it
Yeah.
and then recovered it. Where he secured the ball was past 10 yards, but did someone touch it before?
Yeah. And that's
Now they got the white hats pointing. Okay, he was pointing the wrong way. He was pointing first down towards the school.
yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look at that replay. Can we zoom in there? Any at all? Okay. Let's back that up a little bit if we could there. Yeah, right. So the ball's rolling. There's a scrum of people there. Ooh, that was close. He was right on the 50. He might have had feet behind the 50. Carlo, little life for Glenwood. Is going to throw incomplete. I guess hats off to Glenwood for having a bunch of types of onside kicks,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That we've seen a couple, 3 different ones.
And, you know, we'd mentioned earlier that they were down 24-0 to Lewis Central after the first quarter and came back and won a game.
Reed in motion. They're going to throw it to him. He doesn't have much room. And he doesn't get out of bounds. He was right next to the
Yeah,
sideline.
I think our guys that were there, Reinhardt and Johnson and Mason Ackerman, Talon were there. I think they kept him from going out.
He could have run out before he got to that to those 3, but I guess that's going to keep the clock moving. 3:18 to go. Carlos' pass is complete for a first down. That's to the Comet 35. We got a flag at the end.
Or was that the beanbag that came in?
No, that was a flag.
Was it?
Yeah. That might be. Is this something late on North Polk, I wonder? But we do have another officials conference here. What do we got?
Personal foul. Targeting. Defense number 10. 15-yard penalty. Penalty results in a first down.
I think that's the first targeting penalty that I've seen in a high school game this year.
Yeah, well, 3 minutes to go. This game's not over at this point.
No, it isn't.
Ben Carlo throws it towards the sideline, got a man, he's caught it. And again, he doesn't get out of bounds, even though he's right by the sideline.
Yeah, he looked like he was trying to break a tackle and score. And
Boy, Glenwood has not helped themselves with a few clock management things here.
And that was Jace Jetman on the tackle over there.
I mean, between those two plays, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know, you catch that ball over there, you got to think, you know, running to my right isn't an option, right? You're going forward or out of bounds. And
Yeah.
2:37 to go. It's 3rd and 3 for Glenwood. Clock stopped after the incomplete pass. Now, Glenwood does have 2 timeouts. If they would score on this play or the next, you know, that was almost backwards.
Yeah.
I mean, that was close.
Just out of his reach. He got a hand on it, but
4th and 3. Here we go.
yep.
Here's the ball game for Glenwood. Carlo, we're going to have a
Oh,
hold
there's a
on
hold,
Glenwood.
yep.
Incomplete anyway.
Incomplete.
It'll
We'll
be
decline it.
declined. And the Comets will take over. And that's going to do it.
You would think.
I do think. I do think.
Holding. Offense. That penalty is declined. First down, North Polk.
Well, Comets up 14. Glenwood has 2 timeouts. Well, it got a little more interesting than I thought it was going to be for a while.
Yeah, it did.
Carson, another big hole.
Well, if
Glenwood's going to use that the second timeout.
he breaks that tackle, he's still running for a
Timeout,
little
Glenwood.
bit. That's Gavin Abbott on the tackle for the Rams. You got to give Glenwood some credit here. It would have been really easy for them when they were down 28-0 just to, just pack in their chips and
Yeah, they've
finish the game,
hung
so.
around here.
made it, and like you said, it made it interesting. A lot of guys will be back for the Rams next year. So I would anticipate that will be looking forward to that.
Comets had a lot of success running the ball tonight. Carson Reinhardt, big night on the ground. James is go down, James, go down. Snap was mishandled. And they're going to call another timeout here, Glenwood is.
On the tackle of Armstrong.
Timeout. Glenwood. It's the final timeout of the half.
Third and 12. Glenwood's out of timeouts.
Well, there'll be some things to work on in practice next week for the Comets.
Always is.
Yep.
Comets run the ball here, and so you're probably looking at minute and a half or so when they punt it away, up by 14. No timeouts for Glenwood.
Unless we pop one for a first down,
Unless. That's could happen.
which would definitely be the nail.
They're going to throw a bomb. James has got Bryce. It's caught at the 50. And it's a first down. Why not?
Yep.
I don't think Glenwood saw that coming. So
No.
Comets will run out the clock here. 2:06 to go. Get the clock wound in a moment. No timeouts for Glenwood.
Boy, that was a nice ball, too. That was right on the money.
The home win streak, the playoff home win streak, lives on. Comets in victory formation. Now, not to critique here, but there were 4 on the clock when we snapped it on the play clock. We can get that thing to 1,
Yes. Yeah.
fellas, right?
Yeah.
Get
Or-
see
or-
it say 1, and then boom.
Or at least get it to 2. to
Yeah, at
give
least
yourself
the
a
2.
Smidge of
You know,
cushion.
you mentioned things to work on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
there you
run
go.
that thing down.
Yeah.
Because it's right. Plain as day, right? You know,
Yeah.
that play clock. Just stare at that thing and there we got it to 2.
Yep.
One more will do it. Students filing out. How many of these kids in high school have never seen the Comets lose here?
Yeah.
Like all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's my daughter, Ellie. She's dressed like Elmo.
Where is she?
She'll appreciate, she got the Halloween blanket.
Oh,
And
okay. Okay.
She'll appreciate that I mentioned that. Well, that's going to do it. Great win for the Comets. Hats off to Glenwood. Had a great season.
Yeah, they finished 7-3, runner-up in the district. And as we mentioned, they've got a lot of good players coming back for next year, so they should be pretty solid next year.
But tonight's about the Comets' victory 35-21. Next Friday, which will be November 7th, Comets will go up to Sergeant Bluff. Don't know if they'll see the monument of Sergeant Floyd. I think that's a little further north than there, but
Yeah, they may or may not have time to work that in.
yeah,
depending
it is a
upon-
business trip. No
Yeah.
time for tourism.
Yeah, unless they leave Thursday.
True.
maybe.
True, get up there early.
Probably wouldn't be able to get Friday off, though.
Take in the Siouxland area.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry, a really pretty complete game for the Comets. Really gashed them on the ground. Kind of
They
a night
did,
we had
yeah.
to because, we didn't have the full array of plays with James' mobility. So that really set us up well.
Well, and that's good to see too, for us to be able to do that. And again, kudos to the offensive line, because they make that stuff happen for the guys back there. Any running back that's worth his salt is going to tell you that if it ain't for those guys up front, boy, I'm not getting what I'm getting here.
No doubt about it. No doubt. That offensive line's played really well all year. So.
Yep. And it would appear, with the one exception, you don't know how badly Blaine Spees is hurt, but it appears as though, other than that, just from looking down, that we came out okay as far as injuries are concerned. So hopefully that's the case.
Well, activities director Matt Eichhorn is going to award trophy to Glenwood here, but we're going to sign off, and another good season, Jerry. It's been fun.
Yeah, it has been fun, Coach.
And Comet season not done yet, so
yeah. Enjoy the winter, huh?
You bet. We'll see y'all later.
IHSAA playoffs next Friday. Will take on Sergeant Luton at 7 p.m. next week.